What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs? You are listening to another episode of Rebellion Wrestling Radio. This is a special episode. We're going to be talking about the fallout from Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory 2017 pay-per-view and all the matches and segments that happen in there. Before we get into anything, guys, I want to thank you for all your listens, your downloads, your subscriptions, and you can check us out, as always, on iTunes. You can check us out live right here on Spreaker.com. Our episodes are available for download. For all of our past episodes, you can go to rebellionwrestling.podbean.com and check out all the past episodes and interviews and just crazy shenanigans from the show. And maybe it's not crazy shenanigans. I think a lot of people use that term to kind of to over-exaggerate. Oh, I went to the store and it was crazy. No, it really probably wasn't crazy. It was probably just, something you want to talk about, Or, someone says something oh, I went, I was hanging out with so-and-so and it was crazy. Maybe you just had a good time and something was funny. But, regardless, Rebellion Wrestling is full of a ton of shenanigans, and especially when we get the others involved. But today I'm going to be going solo today because I'm going to be very honest. I'm the only one out of the crew that really watches Impact Wrestling. And it's not just a knock on Impact Wrestling. I just think that that's just how the others, the others really don't follow it. And you can't really blame them for anything. Before we get into Bound for Glory, I do need to get some shameless plugs out of the way. I do want to send a shout out to a buddy of mine. He's been on the show numerous times. His name is James Johnston. He's got an excellent podcast called the No Stones Unturned podcast. They're on iTunes as well and on Podbean. James talks about everything from politics to technology to entertainment to sports to love life, all that stuff. It's actually really good show. So you guys can check it out. Again, it's called No Stones Unturned, and subscribe because it's pretty awesome. Also, if you want to support this show, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Rebellion Wrestling. Get yourself a kick-ass pro wrestling t-shirt. We got some designs up there. We got our Lucha design. We have our standard Rebellion Wrestling radio design. I have my Mr. Showtime 1984 design, and we actually got a special shirt up there from our other show, the Hardcore Geek Podcast. So any kind of support we appreciate. Helps us keep the show rolling for you absolutely free, and helps pay for stuff like microphones and Oreos and podcast pizza, I guess, right? Anyways, let's talk about Bound for Glory. Okay, so I was super excited about this just because of all the things that have been going on with Impact Wrestling, with the elimination of Jeff Jarrett and the cutting ties, if you will, with let's say BFG, with GFW, Global Force Wrestling. This year's Bound for Glory really was a way to kind of start over, and I know we've got a lot of start and stops with Impact Wrestling or TNA or BFW, GFW. But I think that there were some really good matches that were announced, and I was really looking forward to it. So I actually came in a little late, so I missed the whole X Division match. I had to rewind it and watch it again. So let's start off. We kick off with the 6-way match for the X Division Championship. We had the champion Trevor Lee defending against Caleb Conley, Desmond Xavier, Garza Jr., Matt Sydal, and hometown boy Petey Williams. Now, from what I watched, this was literally my favorite match of the night, hands down. They really got the crowd going, and it was the X Division as we remember it. It was just insane moves. It was just the combination. Everybody really seemed to click in this match. The one thing that was really noticeable is that Garza Jr. was injured. his right arm, I believe. Yeah, it was his right arm basically just dangling the whole time. I just don't understand why try to compete like that. Like, it was very noticeable, and regardless whether or not, he was saying he was good enough to go, I think that's on Impact Wrestling's, medical staff or training team, just to, if the guy can't even lift his arm, it's not even really that it's, of course it's going to be painful for him to be in that match, but that's also dangerous for everybody else in that match. And it made me cringe watching anything Garza Jr. did, and I really enjoyed him. Like, I enjoy his repertoire. I enjoy the spot where they took the pants off and threw him on the tearaway pants and threw him on Trevor Lee's head. And Trevor Lee is such a character, and it's just amazing. The real star in this match, again, to me, was Desmond Xavier. I think that this guy is such an amazing athlete. He's so crisp in the ring. Just reminds me of like an old, almost, I want to say almost like AJ Styles, but just like insanely, just his moves are way more insane than that. Maybe more like a Loki or a Senshi or even like a Sanjay Dutt. But my God, it was such a good match. The reactions for Petey Williams, absolutely amazing. And it's just I just don't understand why we got Trevor Lee winning the title, or retaining the title rather. Petey Williams, I really think he should have came out. I know it's kind of cliche to do that, but I really think that I don't know. I think that for the stage of his career and how good he is, I think it's kind of a shame, the fact that they didn't give him another title shot. That's just how I see it. And then Sanjay looked amazing. And I think I said Caleb Conley. I don't know why I said Caleb Conley. I think because I was thinking like the pairing with him and Trevor Lee, but so whatever I said for the match, take Caleb Conley out, put Sanjay Dutt in, because I just realized that I made that mistake. So that's just me. That's just, I don't know why. It's been a long day at work, guys. Sanjay looked crisp in the ring. Looked just as good as ever. And some people are kind of shitting on him, like oh, he's part of the writing staff. Why does he put himself in the match? But I don't care. I think it was awesome. The one thing to kind of take away from this is that it wasn't like balls to the wall. It was balls to the wall, but it wasn't crazy disorganized. They wrestle lucha style. Basically, there's two guys in the ring that are legal, and then if anybody gets out of the ring or tags out, then the other two are legal. So it was like a controlled chaos, I guess you can say. It was really good. The ending saw Petey Williams hit that Canadian Destroyer on Desmond Xavier. Trevor Lee came in, threw him out of the ring, stole the victory, and he retains the X Division title. As sad as I am to not see Petey Williams win, I love Trevor Lee, and I think this is just, at the end of the day, setting up a one-on-one match with him and Desmond Xavier. That's what I have to say about that. The match I did come into basically at the very end was a bonus match between Tyson Dukes, who I've had the pleasure of meeting and seeing multiple times. Awesome dude. Taking on Ishimori. It was just a random match. I literally came in the middle. I had so much crap going on, but we had Laurel Van Ness in the crowd, just like walking around drunk, which was kind of funny. I don't know why they kept panning to her. I don't understand. Like, I kind of thought it took away from the match. I did watch the rest of it back, but the fact that they are showcasing new talent is great, and talent from the indies, talent from other promotions. I'm still excited that they are still doing the partnerships, and you can't go wrong with that. Now, Ishimori did get the win with the 450, but Tyson Dukes looked amazing in the ring. Looked real grizzled with a giant beard and everything. I hope he keeps that. And I cannot wait to see this dude wrestle more in Impact Wrestling. So from here, we got a quick backstage vintage with Grado and Abyss, and they were it was just like a little heated exchange before the Monsters Ball match. Grado was calling Abyss Joseph, trying to see if, Joseph Park would kind of, snap, or Abyss would snap out of it, and Joseph Park would I guess be in his place, I guess. I don't know. Abyss, says there's no Joseph in here and blah, blah, blah. I think he said, I'm going to kick your ass in the ring. Something along those lines, can't remember the exact promo. Grado says something along the lines. It's a different Grado, and he called him Joseph again. Kind of like an FU, right? So I thought here we were going to be getting the actual Monsters Ball match, but then out of nowhere, Alberto El Patron's music hits. El Patron comes to the ring. One thing I need to note here, he's always been in great shape. Always, he looked really skinny here, like noticeably really, really skinny. Like he dropped some muscle mass, and it's not a knock. Maybe he's just streamlining his physique. But I'm not the only one that made that observation. So El Patron gets on the mic, talks immediately about how the people in the back screwed him out of the championship, and he talked it was almost like a work shoot. He talked real candidly about how he was accused of certain things that were not true, and people, like, he was brought up the police investigations and all that. It didn't really get in the intense detail, but everybody knew he was alluding to the whole thing with him and Paige in the airport from earlier in the year. And, he says that, you guys sent me home, you stripped me of my title, you put it on this paper champion, referring to Eli Drake. And he said nobody had the guts to call me, no one texted me or anything. This promo went pretty long. I mean, I think, in my opinion, it went too long. I wasn't really sure what to think before, the pay-per-view about El Patron's return, but I did dig the promo. It was basically his version of the CM Punk pipe bomb. I guess that's the way everybody compares promos nowadays. He's calling everybody backstabbers, and then he turns his attention to Jeremy Borash, and he's like, hey, JB, or he goes, this company's full of liars and backstabbers, and he goes, oh, hey, what's up, JB? Walks over, and he says he's going to make an example. He gets right in JB's face. JB says, I didn't call you and text you, and I apologized. And then this is where El Patron says, I'm going to make an example out of you. And then he goes, or maybe I won't, and you can literally see JB like sweating bullets. And it was definitely an intense moment. He says, tonight I'm going to make history or something like that, So he just walks in the back, and that's it. From here, we actually get the Monsters Ball match between Grado and Abyss. Basically, in this case, Grado's visa is at stake. So if he loses, then he's not going to wrestle in the United States anymore. I highly find that hard to believe, just because I'm sure I'll see him on the Indies soon. That's unless, who knows, maybe he'll turn up in WWE. Who knows? I don't know what his contract status is with Impact Wrestling. I would hate to see him go. I think he's a really fun character. I think, like, you can kind of do the thing like he did maybe like last year, I think it was, where he came in with the mask on, and or maybe he like randomly marries somebody to stay in Impact. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this match was I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This match was not good, and I was really looking forward to it. I did dig Grado coming out with the Mick Foley looking flannel. I dig the new outfit for Abyss, like the new black and blue mask. This was just, I don't know. It just seemed like they were going through the motions, I guess. There was, some nice little spots with chairs and the little the barbed wire backings, like the barbed wire boards and all that. We saw a little spot with a staple gun, and eventually Grado starts getting the upper hand. We saw the reappearance from Janice from Abyss. That was kind of nice little callback. If anybody's not familiar with Janice, it's basically a 2x4 full of nails. Laurel Van Ness gets in the ring, and she basically hits Grado with a low blow and starts beating him up. And from here, she's, kicking his ass, and she's it's kind of funny. The lights go out, lights come back up, and Rosemary's in the ring. So I'm like, okay, yay, Rosemary, they're going to do something with her on this match. And she beats up Laurel Van Ness, fights her back. Eventually, Abyss goes after Rosemary, and she kind of, as he has her hand around her throat, she's kind of, talking with him, kind of talks him down. All of a sudden, Abyss grabs Grado, he's going to, hold him so Rosemary can hit him with the mist. And then all of a sudden, Rosemary literally does go to hit Grado with the mist. Grado ducks. She mists Abyss right in the face. Abyss can't see. He grabs Rosemary by the throat, choke slams her into the thumbtacks. And from here, we get Grado going for a roll-up, gets a 2 count. And then after that, we saw probably the world's worst black hole slam right onto a barbed wire board. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. I said in my prediction show I thought that Abyss needed this win, and I'm happy he got the win. I just wish that they would have gone a little bit longer. And I don't know. I mean, it just, like I said, I love Grado, I love Abyss. It just really seemed that they were just going through the motions with this. It just seemed like they didn't care. And just a side note on this too, it just, the crowd, and I don't know if it's just maybe the way it came off on my television, but it just really, the crowd, from what I heard, they didn't really seem to give a shit. And that sucks, you have this pay-per-view, they don't really come to Canada, they don't travel outside the Impact Zone very often. I would be psyched if Impact came to Cleveland, I think they've only been here twice, and I have had an opportunity to see an Impact taping once. But if they brought a pay-per-view here, I'd lose my shit. I'd go nuts, man. But this crowd seemed to sit on their hands. They didn't really seem to give a crap. The announcers, JB and Josh were kind of just, it seemed like they really weren't, it's almost like they were not wanting to be there. Certain times, they showed a little bit of enthusiasm for certain things, but just, it just seemed, it was kind of depressing, So let's go ahead and we'll move on here. We had Team Impact, the team of EC3, James Storm and Eddie Edwards taking on Team AAA. That's going to be Tejano, Phantasma, and Pagano. And this was a pretty, pretty decent match. I think that the thing that I didn't enjoy about it was that it seemed a little sloppy, and I think it might have just been a disconnect between the two teams. There were spots that seemed a little slower than they had to be. There were some strikes that were not very believable. And granted, I understand it's predetermined, it's scripted and whatnot. But the Impact team looked great. I think AAA, when they were able to wrestle the lucha style, it was great. I just think it was really just a clash of styles. It wasn't that. It wasn't what I was looking for. Okay. The story in here is EC3 basically is refusing to get in the match. He's just very distant the whole match. All of a sudden he gets tagged in. EC3 just destroys everybody, basically. Tags James Storm in. And he hits a super kick, a really shitty super kick. Not even, I don't want to say it's a shitty super kick from James Storm, but Pagano did not sell it at all. And he did he got kicked, and after they hit the 3 count, he immediately kind of just rolls over and kind of gets up. And I fucking hate that. Sell the move, dude. You got kicked in the face. I understand this may not be your home promotion, but sell the fucking move, That's all I have to say about that. Side note, Eddie Edwards took a really crazy pile driver move on the apron. It looked really scary, really dangerous, but he seemed to be okay. It was like a package tombstone, I believe. Phantasma hit him with that. And they got to stop with these ring apron spots. They just scare me, I guess, right? But Team Impact wins, and that's it. Very interesting. Later on in the night, EC3 sends out a random tweet where he says, "I don't know what I'm doing with my life." So I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if it's part of his character or if he's not enjoying his time in Impact. I don't know. We'll see. Next match is the 51-50 street fight. We got OVE defending the Impact Tag Team titles against LAX. Now, before the match started, we saw somebody laid out from LAX. Couldn't really see their face. They got the Mexican flag that was draped over them. We see the thumbs up, thumbs down. So obviously someone was taken out by a member of OVE, right? This match was pretty good. It was really brutal. OVE and LAX from the jump, they were going all out here with planches. We saw an infamous sit down powerbomb from the table from the entrance ramp to the side of the ramp through a table, which was pretty gruesome looking. Santana basically became New Jack in the match. Does a crazy dive off the scaffold. Looked really scary. He was really high up from what I saw. A lot of just brutal chair shots and it was just a brawl, and that's what I really thought it would be. I thought this would be exactly what it was. It was an all-out brawl. The thing that really got me here is that the inevitable debut of Sami Callihan, when he comes out, he comes out of nowhere, throws, I believe it was Ortiz through the ladder, or it just flips him on top of the ladder. Might have been Santana. You know, I think it was Santana because I think I was worried about his ribs, actually. And then all of a sudden he pile drives Ortiz through a table, which was super crazy. Go figure. And he rolls him into the ring. OVE gets the pinfall. The thing that kind of pissed me off is that, kind of going back to the crowd, there was little to no reaction for Sami Callihan, and that sucks because I think he's a great talent. You know, I haven't really had a chance to see him live very often, but I've seen him in a lot of matches online and a lot of DVDs and whatnot. I saw him when he was in NXT doing the Solomon Crow gimmick, and I think that he's a great talent, especially, you know, he was paired up with OVE on the Indies, and it's a great addition to the faction, I guess. But I don't know if maybe just the Canadian crowd, they weren't familiar with him, which is kind of crazy because I think he wrestles in AAW, which I believe is a Canadian-based company. I might be wrong here. Or maybe I'm thinking of another company. I think I might have it mixed up, actually. Anyways, there was little to no reaction for Sami Callihan, and that just really kind of sucked, in my opinion. But after the match, they basically beat down LAX. They're just basically ghetto stomping them, and it got really uncomfortable, and it almost kind of seemed like a double turn, you know. Well, that remains to be seen, but apparently they're a 3-man faction now, so yeah, that's cool. From here, let's see. We got the Knockouts Championship. We got Sienna defending against Allie and Gail Kim in her hometown, who I believe this is going to be her last match. I'm not sure. This is definitely her last year of active competition. Before the match, we saw Anthony Corelli, also known as Santino Marella. He was just showing ringside. So, it's kind of cool, just seeing the guy there. He's actually Canadian, so that makes sense. This match was sloppy. I'm sorry. The reaction for Gail Kim was great. Ring announcer that they used really kind of played her up really well. It was wonderful. But the match itself was kind of sloppy, and I'm sorry. It just was. The story being around Gail Kim's final match, I thought that they were going to maybe give the win to Allie and kind of maybe have her pin Gail and do the whole passing of the torch thing. They kept saying that this is going to be Gail's final match. And and I don't know, man. It just I think she could have gone out better. The real cool spot. And here, let me say this: there was a scary spot when Sienna had Allie up in a like powerbomb / backbreaker position. She just like dumps her outside the ring, and it looks like Allie hit the ring steps. And then from here, though, it was actually a real cool spot where Gail was on the middle rope, Brett's rope, and hits the Eat Defeat off the middle rope and pins Sienna to become the new Knockouts champion. So that was actually really cool, really good, feel-good moment for Gail Kim until until Impact decides to immediately cut to a promo for the Bobby Lashley King Mo versus Bonner and Moose match. Like, I'm sorry, but Gail Kim is one of your top talents, not just for the women, but for just your company in general. And this is her last match. She just won the title. And then you basically, I want to say maybe 30 or 40 seconds after she pinned Sienna for the title, you cut to a fucking promo that you've been showing for weeks on Impact. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. There's no reason for that. That just makes no goddamn sense. I'm sorry, and I'm swearing, and I shouldn't be swearing, but that was, in my opinion, that was blatant, utter disrespect for Gail Kim. And Impact Wrestling should be ashamed for that. Sorry, that's just how I feel. Let's see. We got an appearance from Jimmy Jacobs, randomly just showing up, saying that he works there, apparently. Josh Matthews with a nice little joke saying, hey, I'm going to go get a selfie with him. It's kind of funny. We got the 6 Sides of Steel match with American Top Team members. We got Bobby Lashley and King Mo taking on Stephen Bonner and Moose. Stephen Bonner and Moose kind of had like this weird dude rapping. It seemed like he was lip syncing too. Nice. I understand they're trying to kind of play it up, because it's the biggest show of the year. I don't think that really clicked very well, but it was all right. It was what it was. I love Bobby Lashley's entrance music. I like the big fight feel, especially with American Top Team on the ringside. This was a pretty decent match. I love seeing just Lashley and Moose just destroy each other. There was a nice little spot with King Mo and Bonner where they were kind of doing some chain grappling and going into arm bars and leg locks and chokeholds and whatnot. King Mo got a really nasty cut above his left eye. I don't think it was his right eye. I can't remember. But really nasty cut early in the match. I think he cut it on the cage itself. And they got to the point where American Top Team came into the ring and they're beating everybody up. And all of a sudden, Moose is on the outside beating dudes up. And they lock him out of the cage to the point where Moose climbs to the top of the cage. This is almost a 300-something pound dude. He dives off the cage onto Lashley and Mo, and it's just this dude. It just seemed like I never seen a guy that big like dive from that high up. So that was a sight to be seen. The match ends with Lashley spearing Moose, just totally turning him inside out, and that's it. The winners are going to be Bobby Lashley and King Mo. And I think that was not what I predicted, but I actually thought that King Mo and Lashley would kind of get into it. Excuse me. And Lashley would kind of leave them for dead. But, it is what it is. Everybody from American Top Team, they came in, they took some bumps. So that was actually pretty fun. And this is probably going to be like my second favorite match of the night, just because it was different, it was fun, and it's not saying much. That's all I can say. From here, we have our main event. We have a global champion, Eli Drake, defending against Johnny Impact, aka Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo. And it was a little botched with the music. I think they started playing Impact's music a little early, but it was okay. This was like a decent match. It didn't like blow me away or anything. Excuse me. But it seemed like every move in Johnny Impact's repertoire was used here. My favorite spot, honestly, wasn't even really a move. It was a spot where Eli Drake went to Irish Whip Impact. They were on the outside of the ropes. He goes into Irish Whip him into the guardrail, and Impact just does like a baseball slide, slides under the barricade, and he's on the other side. I just thought that was really cool. It really just shows how athletic this dude is. We saw a top rope Samoan drop where Impact falls basically on his neck, gets up, does a corkscrew plancha, like a standing corkscrew plancha on the Eli Drake. We saw the countdown to Impact, that corkscrew elbow. We saw the Starship Pain. Nice stuff from Johnny Impact. I think this is just another case where maybe the styles kind of clashed a little bit. No pun intended, but it's just Eli Drake is more of a talker and a technician. He's got a slower pace where Johnny Impact is really, his repertoire is really high flying and spotty. And I think that when Johnny Impact had the upper hand, the crowd started kind of coming out of their seats, which was amazing because I thought they were all dead. And they started making some noise. They were getting behind Johnny Impact. And then when Eli Drake would get the, take the advantage of the match, it would kind of kill the crowd. And I get that, that you're a heel and you're supposed to kind of slow down the pace here, especially if you're the heel champion. But, it's just I think he did it in a bad way, We saw Johnny Impact. I think this is when he hit the Starship Pain. He's going for the final 3 count where an El Patron comes out of the crowd, pulls the referee out of the ring. Johnny Impact goes to do a diving plancha to take out El Patron, and he takes out the referee instead. It was a really scary spot, to be honest with you. From here, El Patron attacks Impact with a steel chair. He takes the global championship, and he nails Eli Drake in the face. So it's like, okay, he's just taking everybody out. Impact gets back in the ring, and Del Rio literally breaks a steel chair over the head of Johnny Impact, drags Eli Drake over to Johnny Impact. Referee wakes up all of a sudden, counts the 1, 2, 3. Eli Drake retains the Impact Global Championship. The show ends abruptly with El Patron kneeling on the entrance ramp, smiling, and that's it. That's no real celebration for Eli Drake. No nothing. I'm gonna be really honest with you. As much as I love watching Impact, and I have been a TNA fan since before they were on television. I used to read Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and I would read about NWA TNA, and then I would order the little weekly pay-per-views. They used to show little 1 or 2 hour long pay-per-views for I think $9 or $10 on Wednesday nights. That was their version of their weekly show. I would order these, and I would watch the show on Fox Sports Net. I would watch it on Spike TV when it first came out. I was a TNA mark, and I still do love Impact Wrestling. But this show, I'm sorry, but I did not enjoy this Bound for Glory. I want to say, other than the Japan Bound for Glory, this one, for me, unfortunately, it did not do it for me at all. And here's the thing, it's not the talent. I just don't think, there's just a lot of production things that just didn't go right. I don't even know if that's it. I just don't know. I don't want to crap on the show, but if I'm being completely honest, this show was not good in my eyes. I think Slammiversary was so much better by leaps and bounds. And the fact that we didn't get the Red Wedding match, I think that was a big thing. The fact that the main event was just kind of just shit on. You know, it's just a shitty ending. The team Impact versus Team AAA match was kind of sloppy. The Monsters Ball match was short and sloppy, and as was the Impact Knockouts title match. And the fact that they just cut away from Gail Kim, that just drove me insane. Needless to say, I'm still going to watch Impact on Thursday. I'm excited. I think that, you know, just because you have one rough show, one bad show, doesn't mean doesn't mean they're going to go out of business or anything like that. I just think that the announcers could totally maybe put a little bit more enthusiasm in it. I think that you should put Jimmy Jacobs as a commentator. I think it'd be great, personally, unless you're going to put him in the actual matches here. But I don't know. Bound for Glory 2017. It was in my opinion, it wasn't that great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great. So, and that's strictly my opinions. I'm sure you guys can leave the comments and tell me how much I suck and how much I'm a WWE mark and whatever. But you know, I think that if you're an actual wrestling fan, you know, you're gonna enjoy it for what it is, but you can't ignore that it was not a great show. And I hope that things do get better. You know, I wanted this to be an amazing show. I wanted this to be like Impact's way of just saying, all right, hey, we're Impact again. We're traveling to Canada. We're gonna kick some ass, and we're gonna show everybody that we're an amazing company because they have an amazing roster and an amazing group of people working for them. And it's just it did not hit that mark, unfortunately, and it's really all I can say about that. It saddens me to say that, but fortunately, Bound for Glory, if I can give it out of 10, I'm gonna probably give it a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. Bright spots, definitely the X Division match. The nice little appearance from Rosemary, Gail Kim winning the title, and the interactions with King Mo and Bobby Lashley. Other than that, you know, it just seemed like another episode of Impact, and that's not what we want. That's not what you pay $40 for. You put on great matches. You try to put a little bit more effort in with your commentary, and you know, you actually finish up some storylines. You know, that's all I gotta say about that. Another bright spot, the 5150 street fight until the very end was pretty good in my opinion. I know I may not share the same opinion with others, but that's how I feel. Regardless, we got another episode of Impact in a few days. I'm very excited about that. Tonight we have Monday Night Raw emanating from the UK, so I'm gonna be checking that out. I read no spoilers. I have been off my phone all day, and I'm hoping to get a good show because we have a couple weeks until Survivor Series. Tomorrow night we have SmackDown with AJ Styles challenging Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. We got NXT and we got Impact, so we got a lot of cool stuff going on this week. And you also got Ring of Honor. I would be remiss if I did not mention how excited I am about Chris Jericho taking on Kenny Omega. Holy crap. Like, the fact that Chris Jericho, they showed them up, or they showed them up. He showed up on the stage at the New Japan show, or not on the stage, on the screen at the New Japan show this past Sunday, and challenges Kenny Omega. Love the fact that Jericho's kind of doing his own thing, and this is going to be his first match outside the WWE since 1999. That is huge. He's going back to his roots in New Japan. I hope this opens up some kind of partnership between WWE and New Japan, but I really don't think that's going to be the case, because from what I'm understanding is that Chris Jericho is not on the best terms with WWE. I believe he asked to to use some of the NXT stars on his, I think it's Rock and Wrestling Rager cruise thing. They basically just refused. They said, no, we're not going to do that. So Chris Jericho struck up a partnership with Ring of Honor and New Japan. So I'm excited. I want to see a new version of Chris Jericho in New Japan. And of course, dude, it's the freaking Wrestle Kingdom show. It's the Tokyo Dome. Like, you can't do it any bigger than that. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Okada and oh my god, who the hell is Okada talking about? I forgot who the hell is Okada facing. I'm sorry about my New Japan knowledge. It's not the best here. It's the dude with the eye. That's my favorite guy. Let's see, Wrestle Kingdom 12. Let's see, Wrestle Kingdom 12. What do I got here? It's driving me nuts why I can't think of their names. Everybody's probably just screaming at me right now, like, you idiot! Don't you even watch? Oh, Naito. Jesus, why can I not think of that? So we got a few matches announced here. We got Okada, Naito, Omega, and Jericho. I guess this is for the IWGP US title, which is kind of cool. Tanahashi and Jay White for the Intercontinental title. Marty Scurll versus Takahashi versus Kushida versus Will Ospreay for the Junior Heavyweight title. We got Roppongi 3K taking on the Young Bucks for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles. And we got Cody Rhodes taking on Ibushi for the Ring of Honor World title. So I'm super excited. I cannot wait for January 4th. I'm going to probably have to take a day off work because I'm going to have to watch this at bullshit o'clock in the morning. But it'll totally be worth it. So that's all I have for the show today, guys. I want to thank you for all your listens, your downloads, your subscriptions. For everybody who has tuned in live here on Spreaker, I thank you. I love you. And you can check out all of our past episodes on Podbean and on iTunes as well. We're actually going to be getting things back up on iTunes. We took it off because we're having some RSS issues. But it should be up within the next week or so. But yeah, other than that, go to ProWrestlingTees.com. And order yourself a kick-ass pro wrestling t-shirt to support the show. And love one another, high-five each other, and say no to drugs. Right? I don't know. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later.